This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Monday, August the 13th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, former Prime Minister and outgoing President of the Democratic Labour Party, Donville Stuart, has broken his silence on the money laundering charges brought against fellow party member and ex-Cabinet Minister Donville Inniss in the United States. In his final speech as leader during yesterday's 63rd annual conference of the DLP, Stuart cautioned supporters against rushing to judgment on Inniss's innocence or guilt.
As a party, it is incumbent on us to wish our colleague well. We must respect the fact that the matter is now sub judice, and we should do or say nothing to imperil his entitlement to a fair trial. He, like every other accused person, including the ones here, is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
As a result of the U.S. grand jury indictment, which alleges that Inniss took $36,000 in bribes from top executives of a local insurance company and laundered it through a New York dental company, Stuart told the conference that all politicians with foreign bank accounts now have to be worried.
Whoever has a foreign bank account now has to assume that he or she is under observation, since, like local accounts, foreign accounts have to be fed. Movements of money to foreign accounts have to be a matter of concern for not only politicians, but also for all foreign account holders. The canvas of surveillance is now cast much wider to include the professionals in Barbados, all business persons in Barbados, and others who have to replenish their foreign accounts from time to time.
Looking to the future, the former party leader told members not to allow the institution to be used as a vehicle for anyone's personal ambitions.
I feel it my duty, therefore, to warn that for some time now, there has been a species of predator stalking the party political environment in Barbados in search of career advantages to exploit. This kind of predator's loyalty is usually very occasional and depends on what the rungs of the career ladder look like. To this type, values are not important, philosophy is not important, commitment is not important, love of people is not important, and a vision of the future is not important. All that matters to this type is an opportunity for a career advance.
Meanwhile, Verla Depeza has been elected to succeed Stuart as president of the DLP. The other officers elected last night were attorney Gyson Mears as general secretary, Irene Sandyfoot Garner, first vice president, Nicholas Allen, second vice president, George Connolly, third vice president, Andre Worrell, fourth vice president, and Frank Fibrace, treasurer. In other news now, the Barbados Defense Force has assured citizens it won't be backing down from its mission to ensuring public safety. The pledge was made by Chief of Staff Colonel Glenn Granham while speaking at yesterday's church service at St. Matthias Anglican to commemorate the Army's 39th anniversary.
The Barbados Defense Force shall remain resolute in all our activities in support of the state in its march towards higher levels of national development. We shall stand together and remain committed to fulfilling our mission to defend and secure Barbados' interests, including that of public safety. We shall be a united force, working towards one vision on a journey to help build the best Barbados we can together.
In sports now, the Barbados Tridents have won their initial match in this year's Hero Caribbean Premier League competition. The Tridents beat the Guyana Amazon Warriors by 30 runs last night when Tridents batted first and made 185 in their 20 overs. Raymond Reefer took 5 for 20 for the Tridents out of the 8 wickets that went down from the Warriors.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. In Trinidad, a 68-year-old father of 3 was killed by a stray bullet while on his balcony Saturday morning. The San Fernando man heard a commotion outside and went to investigate when he was shot. 4 others were injured in the shooting. More in this TV6 News report.
Around 5:30 a.m., police say an altercation among patrons at a bar along Separo Street broke out. Gunshots were fired, sounding out through the community. TV6 News was told the owner of #Lounge and Bar just lower down the street heard the commotion and proceeded to lock down his own establishment for safety. But his father, 68-year-old Stephen Pope, who lived upstairs, walked into his gallery to see what was taking place.
My next son told the father, okay, Daddy, let's go inside. And he went behind the door there. The father said, he was in the gallery upstairs. He said he wanted to see where the shooting coming from. Right? So he stood up in the gallery. He said the next thing he saw the father slumped to the ground.
Mrs. Pope says a stray bullet hit Stephen above his right eye and exited the back of the head. Police say 4 others were injured during the shooting, 1 in a critical condition, 2 are stable at hospital, and the other was discharged.
And on the international scene, a white nationalist rally in the heart of Washington drew 24 demonstrators and thousands of chanting counter-protesters yesterday, the 1-year anniversary of the racially charged violence in Charlottesville, Virginia. The rest of the story from Reuters Television.
White nationalists who came to Washington Sunday on the 1-year anniversary of a violent rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, found themselves vastly outnumbered by hundreds of counter-protesters, marching and chanting in the streets around the White House.
Our street! Our street!
Don't be afraid. About 20 to 30 of the activists, led by organizer Jason Kessler, rode public transit from Virginia for a march to the White House under heavy police protection. A swarm of counter-protesters jeering them all the way.
You bad bigot! Are you bigot?
Reporter David Shepardson was there.
You had police on foot in front of the white nationalists, as well as police on bicycles and motorcycles. So the anti-protests were very, very close, sometimes within, only a few feet. There were a lot of shouting and screaming and obscenities.
And that's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.